I mean, initially for me, I always think about, oh man, I don't want to, it's an awful conversation. And now, like the actors, whenever I say, hey, come in, talk to me, there's that set. It's literally that slow walk, like, hey man, what's up?
Hey man, the Turk wants to see you. It's like getting cut in football.
I know.
Hey, get your playbook. Go see the Turk. Oh, they get a little red sticker on their script at the table read, a little red sticker. Oh no! And a little note: "See me, Kurt."
Me. I know, it's a little bit like that.
And what was the weirdest? You must have big names that want to hop on the show. I mean, it's wildly successful. Who's?
We. I have this thing I like to sort of do odd. We did this thing in season 3. We started doing it with Stephen King, to sort of go and get these sort of unlikely actors to do some smaller roles, and we had fun with that, and then we did it again with Hasselhoff that one season. We did it last year with fucking Ashley Tisdale. I turned her into a fucking prostitute,
have, yeah.
And so I
nobody wants to see her be anything with that.
Yeah.
And well done, I might add.
Thank you. And
so you received calls. The CAA call you and go, "Hey, Lou Diamond Phillips loves the show." You must get these calls constantly. Just from his people.
I've actually gotten that call.
Really?
Yeah.
Andy Garcia is a big fan, and
we don't.
Blair Underwood. I don't know if you're going in that direction.
I don't get those cold calls. Obviously, if we know there's a big character, like when we went out for the character of for the character of Damon Pope, and we sort of cast a wide net on that a little bit, and we're looking at different actors, and had some of the P. Diddy's of the world and people like that, expressing interest, and so you have some of that noise that happens. But I think for me, it always comes down to, we're lucky. I'm not in a place where I have to stunt cast. I'm not in a place where I have to say, I need this guy because my ratings are dipping or something like that.
Do you picture, when you're writing a character, do you picture an actor just to help you flush the character out?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes
that
happens.
How many of those have been like me? You'd be honest.
We actually did approach you for a role. Do you remember?
No.
On The Shield? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, but it was conflict of schedule.
Yeah, there was a schedule, and it was actually the role that went to that Forrest Whitaker did.
Well, I'm glad that you let me have it because it's one thing I like. It's The Shield.
It's very good.
He's a good man.
He's a good man.
Pally High graduate.
Yeah, really sweet man. Really sweet.
Great guy. His way of acting is so. We did Street Kings, and he really looks like he has no idea what the words are in the script. Like he it's almost as if you handed him the script and said action, but it's just his way of getting his hands dirty. Well, my experience,
yes,
of getting his hands dirty and rooting around, and it's his way of getting it perfect to him. And as you're standing across from him, you're going, oh my God, he has no, like he's never even read this scene. And he's going, Kurt, I'm glad you, okay, Kurt, Kurt, I'm glad. And then by the time he actually gets like the perfect one out, you're so off guard. You just blurt your shit out. And that's what they print. Like he gets the best out of you by going through his thing.
That's fantastic. He was a lot of fun to work with.
He's one of the true, like actual amazing, kind, beautiful people you will ever meet in show business.
Right.
It's odd that he's in show, but he should be like a high school coach changing lives, the way he behaves on an everyday basis.
Well, I remember I actually had...
Basis was the word I was trying to say. Basis.
I had breakfast with him at the 101 to talk to, because I had created that character on The Shield, and I met with him to talk to him about the character, and it was just one of these great experiences that I don't think we talked about the show at all. he literally spent like 45 minutes talking about samurais, and
it's Ghost
and
Dog, man.
and the way the samurai and how he envisioned this character and who, and it's like I came out, I felt like I got the job. Do you know what I mean? I came out of that meeting feeling like, wow, I got the job to write this character.
I sat next to him on a flight from New York to no, it was a red eye. It was LA to New York. And I'm like, oh, I'm just going to bed, bro. And we sat right next to each other, and we worked together like 2 years ago.
Right.
It was great, big hugs and stuff. Right. And he opens up like this binder, and he's making wells in Africa. And he's on the phone while we're taxiing to people like consulates. Like, no, you don't understand that water. And he's like, and I'm like, I'm about to take a fucking nap. And this guy's
saving
the last
world.
Cell phone time he has before he's 35. Those feet in the air. He's talking to like a Dutch consulate in Kenya, arguing about the size of a pipe to go in a well. Wow. He really, I was glad.
And
when I fell asleep,
you're sitting next to him going and pointing shit out in the Sky catalog. What do you think of that watch?
Yeah, this massages you at the same time you listen to it.
Oh, man.
You must be a real hard guy to audition for because the show has become. I guess it would be the same like auditioning for like David Chase. The show is like this living organism. It's this living thing. The characters are so set in stone. It's not some sitcom where you do a guest and you walk on.
Right.
It's like it's legitimate.
Right.
Like if you get on the show, you've been sort of knighted. You're on the show.
Right.
Do you see people come in? And are you surprised? Do they melt down in front of you? And then are there other people like a rookie quarterback? They're too dumb to know what's at stake, and they just nail it.
I'm at the place now where I don't sit in on first calls just because I don't have the time. But I'll either review tapes for smaller roles and make the decisions. So it's not as intimidating for them. It's usually
what about like bigger roles?
Bigger roles, I'll sit in but here's what happens though. It's like you get to the place where you're doing bigger roles and casting bigger actors, and then a lot of these people, I'm not going to fucking read Jimmy Smits. You know what I mean? I'm going to go in and I'm going to have a conversation with Jimmy Smits about the character. When somebody has a body of work like and Donald Logue, who's my buddy, is I don't read Donald for the role. It's like I've been trying to get the dude on the show for 3 seasons, so that kind of shit, it's you don't do it, but some of the other, obviously when you're coming up and putting the show together and in the first couple seasons, you're looking at everybody. You're reading a lot of people.
Would you agree that Donald Logue is probably the most talented unknown actor? He's in the upper 1%.
He's in the upper 1% that most people don't know, or people don't know it's who it is. Do you know what I mean?
That guy.
He's that guy. Yeah.
Like Tao of Steve.
Yeah.
Groomsman.
Right.
Yeah.
No, he's
so good.
He's
and
so
if
good.
You could break balls with him in between takes, and he could do something so heartbreaking and touching, and then come right and just talk to you about the Pogues, or some stupid Irish music he likes.
Yeah, and it's like dude's like a Rhodes Scholar, so you're just he's one of those guys that you feel like so connected to, and then a moment later like an idiot. Do you know what I mean? Because he's so fucking bright. You're like, I should start pointing to the Sky catalog. I like that. It massages you.
Well, you listen. He's like Forrest Whitaker, where when you're working with him, no matter how much you're getting along, you know what? He's going to get a big head listening to this, but he deserves it. I never told anybody this, but more than any name that I've worked with, like he's one of those guys. Like when I was in a scene with him, there was a lot at stake because I didn't want to let him down.
Oh, right.
Because he was so good,
right.
And there's such an effortless to him. And I break a lot of balls,
right.
And then when you break balls, you better come back to the fucking pack and deliver. Right. You better throw touchdowns when it's your time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when you're in a scene with Donald, he's so good, and there's like a gentleness about him, even if he's doing really mean, harsh, weird stuff. That the thought of him thinking I suck was more nerve-wracking than learning 4 pages of dialogue.
It was cool for us because we had become friends. And I've been trying to get him on the show for a couple of years, and we finally made it work and found the right character. And then, we talk about the character, and then we got to act together, so we got to do a couple of these like crazy ass scenes together. And
you're like an Armenian on the show. You're not even like an American person.
No, on SOA, I'm playing Otto,
But what were you on the Shield? You played some
yeah,
Armenian hitman.
I played some crazy Armenian hitman. Yeah.
Was he Armenian?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
At what point when you're writing that do you go, you know what I'll do? Armenian.
That's not
I'm going to blow their minds.
That was Clark Johnson. That was
All
the
right.
director.
I thought you wrote it for yourself.
No,
you were
I
just
didn't.
A crackpot.
I didn't. I was a staff writer. I didn't have the weight to go, hey, this is my role.
I don't think they saw me in Beauty and the Beast at Pleasureville Playhouse next to the adult bookstore in Rahway State Prison. But I'm gonna do this as a Persian. I'm gonna be a Persian hitman. Yeah, so you act with Donald.
So I act with Donald, and one of the scenes he's literally beating the shit out of me, But it was cool because there was I think there was a sense of him not wanting to let me down because it was my words, So it was just this great. It was just a lot of fun, and we got to do, I got to throw the fucking tongue at it. It was just a lot of fun,
Greatest character he's ever done that the fewest people have ever seen. Jimmy the Cab Driver, MTV commercials.
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Bro, it will blow your mind. This bizarre Boston cab driver that he creates with big, thick glasses with like weird tape on the sides, and he's got that greasy hair.
And it was just commercials?
It was just like one of those guys, like they had Randy the hippie, and there was like Jimmy the Cab, like, I'll tell you one thing about the Celtics. And he's like this stuttering, yammering cab driver that like, you'll be blown away, more blown away than you are.
YouTube? Can I YouTube it?
I hope so.
Yeah, all right.
I haven't tried it. What's your favorite app on your phone? Exhale app? What the fuck was that?
Bejeweled.
Really?
Yeah. I just play games. I don't really use any of them.
You know what he showed me the other night?
What?
Star Walk, where you hold your phone up to the sky and it tells you the exact stars you're looking at.
Wow, that's awesome.
And then it'll outline the constellation, because those guys were full of shit. Like Galileo, whoever made that shit up. It's like 3 dots, and they go, look, he's an archer, and he's riding a bull. You're like, no, it's 3 dots, asshole.
Right.
I'm like, no, you got to look. It's a pirate ship, and it's in the Sky catalog.
And there's an app for that now. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Look, he's going to show you right now. This will look at that.
So it's GPSing our location.
This is riveting radio, but it's good. But it is good.
I'm looking.
Hold it closer.
What is
to
that?
him. He's blind as a bat, man.
I know, dude. Here, wait a minute.
For crying out loud! Look at those glasses.
I know. Fucking blind. Oh wow, Dennis Miller. What is that?
That's it. No, that's the Dennis Miller constellation.
It is. It's the Dennis Miller.
And if you look at me, turn to the left, the Lee Harvey Oswald prison transfer.
Oh, it's the Canis Major. Wow, that's wild. And there's Orion. That's really cool. I'm sorry. I went away for a moment. We are so.
I told you, right?
We're so fucking high right now. We're not high.
But it's a body high, which is good. We have our wits about us. But I don't think I can get up off this couch. What actor had you made a run at an actor that you were perplexed that they said no?
I made a run at an actor as of late.
Just no? Blanket no?
I don't think so.
Really? You've created a very elite club.
Mm-hmm.
Like where you've never even run at somebody. Like you've never said, could we have a meeting with this guy?
Right.
Like that's the whole show is like this complete improbability.
Right.
It's a complete outlier.
Right.
Like it shouldn't, the fact that they came to you with this idea and you go back and there's guns, there's gangs, there's fighting, there's meth, and there's arms dealing. And there's horror, kids being put on fire and dicks and balls and tongues and people kicking the shit out of it. It's this thing that any network would just go, yeah, this is a little rough, bro. Mm-hmm. But somehow you do it in a way, and you're an outlier because you do it in a way that I don't watch it and go, how is this on TV? This is crazy.
Right.
And then the fact that the network has completely left you alone, that you built up that much goodwill, and the fact that you have all these people writing around you that see your vision, that you're all on the same page.
Right.
It's I guess what I'm trying to say to the listeners, this show never happens. It's like how The Sopranos was the first appointment TV. The first time anybody in our generation got nervous around 7 p.m. because they thought, I might not make it home in time. This is not cool.
Right.
And also, and your shows, but this generation now will never have that feeling with TiVo and all these other things.
Right.
But it's certainly appointment television.
Yeah.
What shows do you watch when you're not watching your show? Honey Boo Boo?
You
can tell me, bro.
My favorite show is Boardwalk Empire.
Mm-hmm.
I love that period of time. I love period dramas.
I think you're jealous a little bit at how slow they get to play things out.